Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at Ninjazilla90, and today I will be reviewing one of my top personal favorites in my S.H. Monster Arts collection for very many reasons, which you will find out why at the end of this video. Plus, since I just done my very first action figure ASMR segment with this one, I figured, heck, I may as well review them while I got them out. So, with that said, I will be reviewing the S.H. Monster Arts Godzilla vs. Gigan Godzilla 1972 figure. And yeah, I got a lot of positive things to say about this figure. That is part of one of the very many reasons why this is one of my top favorite S.H. Monster Arts figures. So that's kind of giving you a hint on what my final score for this figure is going to be. So with that said, let's get to it. And now here we have the S.H. Monster Arts Godzilla vs. Gigan Godzilla 1972 figure right here before us in all of his super cool, awesome, cutesy, but deadly Showa era glory. As you can see, this is a well sculpted, sharply detailed figure, sculpted by the world famous S.H. Monster Arts sculptor himself, Yuji Sakai. As you can see, this figure is comprised of Godzilla's typical color scheme of a darker charcoal gray going into these very beautiful, bright, shiny, vibrant silver dorsal spines here. Reminds me a lot of those older Imperial Godzilla figures and a lot of the from the older Trendmasters line. All those had those silver dorsal spines. I'm betting they got that idea from this Godzilla here. So yeah, if we're wondering where those silver dorsal spines came from on those older Godzilla figures, they probably got the idea from the 1972 suit design. So that's probably most likely where that came from. But anyway, getting more into detail, as you can see, he is sporting a very realistic bone white weathered tan colorization on his mani pedis there, on his hand claws and toe claws. As you can see, we can see he has some realistic weathered looking bone white teeth inside of his mouth, and we could also see those realistic gums of his inside of his mouth if we open it. The mouth doesn't open that wide on this one, but it does open like at least somewhat. And we can also see, if we take a closer look, yeah, we can also see some slight red trim on the lower half of his lips. Well, at least like the upper tips of his lips. If you look really closely, you can see sort of some red trim, actually making Godzilla appear like he has lips if you look at him close enough. And also getting a closer look, we can see the huge beady eyes that this Godzilla has, making him look very cutesy and kid-friendly, but also fierce and like a monster you don't want to mess with. So, yeah, that's typical later Showa era Godzilla, when yeah, he practically turned babyface after he had a fight with Mothra, and then yeah, they had to join forces to battle King Ghidorah after for the first time. So yeah, that's the first time we've seen Godzilla turn good. But anyway, moving right along to articulation. Articulation with this figure is top-notch quality. Of course, this figure has all the articulation that S.H. Monster Arts is known for, or in some cases, yeah, some figures are supposed to be known for, having top quality articulation, but they're not quite up to snuff, but that's the question we are here to answer today. Is this one up to snuff with the top quality that the S.H. Monster Arts line is known for? So with that said, let's get into articulation, starting with the head. Of course, the head can move independently from the neck on the ball joint. We can look left, of course, because left is these figures are labeled from back to front, so this would be left in terms of S.H. Monster Arts articulation, and then this would be right. But what the heck, I'm just gonna go ahead and say right for this way and then left for that way, so it's going to be your left and your right, not the figures right and left. So that's kind of how they label it. I know it's kind of weird, but anyway, we can go right, we can turn left, we can look up about that much and down about that much, and of course the lower neck can also move further down and further up, and we can rock side to side and lean side to side with the neck. The arms are, the shoulders are on ball joint, so we can move them all the way around a full 360 like so. The elbows, of course, are on a double jointed hinge, so we can bend them forward and back about that much. Same is true with the other side. The hands are on a swivel hinge, so we can, not a swivel hinge, they are on a ball joint, so we can swivel them all the way around a full 360, and we can rock them forward and back for that claw swiping action. Same is true with the other hand, so we can move that hand a full 360, and of course rock it forward and back for that claw swiping action. As far as the waist, we do have a really good ab crunch on this figure, so we can bend the waist all the way down like that and bring him back up, of course. Really nice. And of course we can bring the arms out about that much and then bring them back in about that much. Moving right along to the lower body portion of the figure, getting into the hips and the legs and the knees and the feet here. The hips have a really good articulation on a butterfly style ball joint, so you can bring them out about that much and bring them in about that much. We can kick forward about that much and then back down. Same is true with the other foot. We can kick forward about that much and then back down. Although do be careful when moving the legs, because sometimes those inner sleeve pieces or inner cap pieces can kind of get caught up in the sculpt with the ball joint and kind of make it difficult to put those legs back in place, but with enough precision it's doable. And now moving right along down to the knees. The knees, of course, are double jointed, so we can bend them forward and back like so. Same is true with the other side, as you are witnessing. And of course, the ankles, the feet are on ball joints, so we can swivel them all the way around a full 360 like so, and point them forward and back. And now getting on to what I would consider the best part about this figure. Of course, the most satisfying of all satisfying pieces of an S.H. Monster Arts figure, especially Godzilla. Well, it's supposed to be satisfying, but not on every single one of them. Of course, the tail. And the tail has a really good articulation. We can move the tail this far this way, this far the opposite way. We can put it in a very good, nice S-curve there. And we could do an S-curve the opposite way if we want to as well. As you are seeing, we can put the tail up like this. We can put it down, all the way flat down on the ground. And of course, one of the main features that this figure is known for, we can do, of course, let me get him in position, the world famous Godzilla versus the Smog Monster flying pose, of course. And of course, we can also put him in a swimming pose as well, although the head is kind of tilted down due to the sculpt, but with the right positioning, and yeah, let me put him back up. As you can see, it's doable. Putting him back down, and of course, this figure does come with an accessory. How can we forget about his accessories? So let's get to that. Yep, as you can see, this figure comes with an interchangeable head. As you can see, this is basically a battle damaged or battle scored head when Gigan basically swooped in, flew in, and cut the top of his head with his buzzsaw blade in the middle of his belly and spliced Godzilla's head clean open. One of the very first times we've seen Godzilla bleed in a movie. So basically what we do is we pop the not battle damaged head off, and we pop the battle damaged head on. There we go. Now we have Godzilla 1972 with a bloody face. Yep, that's your accessory. Although it still looks cool, I still display him with the not battle scored face, so I prefer the not battle damaged face. This is how I prefer to display mine. Although, like I can tell where the material is glued together to hold this figure together. I know that might be a flaw in mine, but you can see the small little seam line there. And you don't see it on that side. But that's totally fine. It doesn't really bother me. I'm just showing you that that's a thing on mine. But your mileage may vary with yours. But anyway, guys, with all that said, it is now time for me to get into my final verdict with this figure. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla vs. Gigan Godzilla 1972 figure here. If I have to give this figure a score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give it a drum roll, please. And this is a kind of a tough one, but since this figure is really good and it holds up well, I am going to cut it some leeway and give it a knocked out of the park 5 out of 5 source score. Why? Number one, this figure is well detailed and basically very movie accurate. I don't see any inaccuracies with this figure at all whatsoever. The dorsal spines look really nice. This one right here is even movable, and it's also removable, so you do have to be careful with that one. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And overall, that this figure looks very realistic. The paint apps are really good. You know, the sculpting is good. Detail with this figure is absolutely top notch, so I can't complain there. Number two, articulation with this figure is some of the best you will get in the S.H. Monster Arts line. The head moves very fluently on the neck. The arms and the hands move very fluently. The legs move very fluently. The feet move very fluently. And of course, best of all, the tail is very, very satisfying, as you can see. That's one of the reasons why I done my first action figure ASMR segment with this one. Although, yeah, unfortunately, this figure will not be affordable or accessible to everybody because it's expensive. It's technically, I would say, like around $90-ish, to get this figure. So, yeah. And also, this is more of a case of more geared toward adult collectors. So, yeah, if you're a parent looking for good Godzilla figures for your kids, yeah, the S.H. Monster Arts line is not it. So, I would recommend Playmates Toys, Bandai Movie Monster Series, or, I would even say the Bandai Namco Godzilla action figure series line. That is actually a really good line. I would consider for not just kids, but all ages. I freaking love the Bandai Namco Godzilla action figure series line. But anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this figure review. If you made it this far into the video, thank you guys all so very much for watching. I appreciate that greatly. And if you want to help out this channel even more, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, and peace out.